Hello everybody and welcome to Autotelic Drive. My name is Pauline Dugout and I am a peak performance coach. I work with individuals who are driven and ambitious and striving to be better versions of themselves while simultaneously contributing to the betterment of the society and the betterment of their communities. So, in this episode, I would like to talk about burnout. What exactly is the burnout? And if you were to consider the burnout from the perspective of doing something because you think you should be doing it, but at the same time exhausting yourself to such extent that you can't even connect with your passion or your authentic self-expression. More often than not, burnout happens because you follow the idea or a protocol or a system that you think is going to get you something, while at the same time not recovering sufficiently. I always advocate going back to the basics. Peak performance depends on those small elements that a lot of them are found in nature. Time in nature, proper nutrition, hydration, sleep. Sleep cannot be overrated. There have been numerous books, studies, and all sorts of observations made about the importance of sleep and how it aids in recovery. So if you find yourself in a state where you always tired, where you don't have enough energy to do the things that you want, it is likely because you have extended and outperformed yourself in some other area that might not be aligned with your passion, with your excitement, with your authenticity. And when I talk about the passion or excitement, I mean something that is really truly yours, something that you know deep inside you that it is your thing. And what usually happens, and one of the most common thing that I work with my clients on, is the belief system that if they follow their passion, if they do something that they really want, something terrible is going to happen. So instead they procrastinate, they do other things. And you might have found yourself also in the state where you are outsourcing your imagination and your creativity to do things in order to avoid doing the things that you really want to do, which just seems contradictory. You want to do those things and yet you're self-sabotaging. At the same time, you are not doing them and you are preventing and blocking yourself from that, which makes no sense. But it does make sense if you look from the perspective of the belief system that is hidden from the view. It's like an engine in the car. You have to lift the hood in order to see that. And that is what happens. Sometimes you need to really stop the car, open the hood, and look and see what is happening underneath the surface. What belief systems you are running that are exhausting you to such extent that you don't recover sufficiently, and yet you can't stop doing what it is that you're doing. Because the purpose of life is to be yourself to the most that you can. And the way that you know that you're being yourself is that you're feeling joy and passion and excitement at the thought and at the activity of doing what it is that you want to be doing. And the opposite of that is tiredness, exhaustion, frustration, feeling stuck, feeling stagnant. All those negative feelings are indication that you're off your path, that you are not aligned. Your alignment is off. If your car is not aligned, you take it to the mechanic and you get alignment done, right? But the same thing applies to the human psychology, but we rarely think about it that way. So the burnout is usually caused by misalignment of the systems, the value structure that is not aligned with your authenticity and your sense of who you think you are. And that goes back to the identity piece that I just filmed in another video yesterday. So if you want to look more at what happens to your identity, look in the video that I did before this one. And so this is what I wanted to talk about, how easy it is for us to get into that state of burnout, but it also easy to get out of it. If you have noticed that you have been in the space of frustration, nothing is working, friction constantly present, presents itself in your life, then you have to realize that something is off. And it's best to not judge it because it's already present in your life. The best thing you can do is accept and acknowledge that there is some kind of misalignment, and then take directive, intentional actions to right that thing, to get yourself back on track, to get yourself in a state of coherence where your heart and your mind are talking and communicating and are on the same page. There's nothing more frustrating than having imagination, having creative ideas, and listening to that and then canceling them out because you are afraid that something bad is going to happen if you actually act on those ideas. It can be very disheartening, and eventually you will stop receiving those ideas, and your higher self will stop sending you those signals, because if you haven't taken action on the small hints that you have been getting so far, it's not going to send you anything further until you clear the path. In a way, you want to sort of clear the landing strip for the airplane to land. And that is in essence how I perceive burnout. So if this video was helpful for you, please share, like, and subscribe. It helps the channel and it helps me specifically. And if you want to go further, you can download Peak Performance Checklist. I created one-page document that can help you prevent burnout, identify your blocks, identify what it is that you want to be doing, and how to align yourself in the quickest way possible, and a reminder every day of what areas to pay attention to. I will put the link in the description below, so please check it out, download, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.